All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're plugging into a world that smashes together ancient martial arts fantasy with a really gritty cyberpunk dystopia. This is a universe where spiritual energy, Lingqi, doesn't just fuel enlightenment, it fuels corporate greed and a whole lot of rebellion. Let's see what happens when the path to immortality becomes a hostile takeover.
So, the whole concept of Lingqi Punk boils down to one fascinating, kind of terrifying question. What if the all-powerful, immortal masters from old legends acted, well, exactly like the ruthless megacorps from your favorite cyberpunk stories? Just imagine a world where becoming immortal isn't a spiritual journey. It's a corporate strategy, complete with soul hacking, body snatching, and literally a stock market for spiritual power.
And when you mix corporations and cultivation like that, you get a world built on a fundamental conflict. This isn't just a war with armies, it's a philosophical war for the soul of this reality, and it defines absolutely everything.
That entire war, everything, it all comes down to this one question. This world is literally torn in two over competing definitions of the way, or the Tin Dao. And this is not your typical good versus evil fight. We're talking about two completely irreconcilable laws of the universe battling for control.
And believe it or not, the key to this whole conflict comes straight from the Tao Te Ching. This one quote right here, it lays out the two opposing philosophies, the two universal laws that are tearing this world apart. So on one hand, you have the way of heaven. It's all about balance, right? A natural law that takes from where there's too much and gives to where there's not enough. But the way of man, it's the exact opposite. It's a system built on pure exploitation, taking from the weak to make the strong even stronger. Okay, so let's dig into the philosophy that's currently running the show with an iron fist. The brutal, systematic way of man. And you can't talk about this system without talking about its ultimate symbol, Taiyi Palace. This isn't just a company, and it's not just a religious sect. Think of it as a corporate government and a papal state, all rolled into one massive controlling entity. They control everything: spiritual energy, tech patents, the news, and they do it all while telling everyone they're just following the way of heaven. And at the very top, you have the so-called immortal CEO, Zhang Bailu. This guy is the perfect embodiment of this corrupt system. He didn't achieve enlightenment. No, he achieved immortality through a hostile takeover of his own family. He copies his consciousness onto computer chips and just hijacks the bodies of his own children and grandchildren. He's on his fourth one now. And to make sure nobody can ever challenge him, he secretly kills anyone who gets close to his power level. He even renamed the highest state of being Great Emperor. Yep, after himself.
And this way of man, this rotten philosophy, it's not just at the top. It has infected every single power structure in this world. You have powerful families performing twisted rituals on children, literally harvesting souls from other dimensions to sell on the black market. You have sects that raise women as wife candidates, basically sexual slaves to be used as political bargaining chips. There's even a sect that took its technology for enslaving beasts and just started using it on people. It's a world where everything and everyone is just a resource to be used up.
But, you know, even in a world this dark, the way of heaven isn't totally gone. There are these little sparks of resistance, tiny reminders of a different way of thinking, one based on balance and, not being a monster. And this ideological war is just perfectly summed up by these two groups. You had the fallen Seven Sages sect, whose entire philosophy was that enlightenment is for everyone, human, spirit, you name it. But now, Taiyi Palace has a complete monopoly, and their message is simple: only the chosen few, which, surprise, means them, are worthy of power.
The spirit of the way of heaven actually lives on in these forgotten artifacts, items that are physically impossible to corrupt. For example, a love potion that will literally kill you if you try to use it without genuine love, or a divine sword forged by a legendary master of killing that is fundamentally incapable of taking a human life. These aren't just cool items, they are physical proof that another, better way once existed and is still possible.
So who leads this rebellion? Not some perfect, shining hero. It's a guy named Yi Shang, and he's not even fully from this world. His body is, but his soul? It's from our 21st century. His modern sense of right and wrong, just basic human decency, makes him a total freak in this brutal world. He's basically forced into becoming a rebel because he just can't stomach the cruelty he sees everywhere.
But this is where the story really earns its punk label. Because in this world, fighting the system, it is not a power fantasy. Not even close. Every single act of defiance, no matter how right it is, comes with an absolutely soul-crushing cost.
So Ye Shan gets his hands on these lost, incredibly powerful techniques from the good old days, giving him a real chance to actually fight back.
But what's the catch? Because that power threatens the corporate monopoly. Just having it instantly makes him a terrorist. He's not a hero saving the world. He's public enemy number one.
At one point, he pulls off this amazing feat, defeats an enemy that should have been impossible to beat, and saves all his friends from certain death, a true hero moment.
And his reward? A medical bill for $2 million. In this hyper-capitalist world, even saving lives puts you into crippling debt. A debt so massive, it's basically a life sentence.
Later on, driven by that 21st century conscience, he does what he knows is right. He stops his own abusive brother, a powerful figure, from hurting any more innocent people.
And for this heroic, moral act, society turns on him. He's not seen as a hero who delivered justice. No, he's branded a kin-slain pariah, an outcast who's forced into exile from his own home forever.
So you see, this isn't a story about winning. It's a rock and roll tragedy. It's about the brutal, heartbreaking price of just trying to be a decent human being in a system that's designed to crush decency. It leaves you with a really powerful question. In a world that has put a price tag on absolutely everything, power, life, even morality, what is the real cost of just holding on to your soul?